Hi everyone, this is Scotty Treehouse doing a video review of a new show that just aired in 2021. It's a adaptation, another adaptation, I guess, from the original novel by uh, Jin Yong. Was it Yong Jin? Forgot. Anyways, he's a very famous author of these wuxia novels. I believe this book was published in 1950s. That's when it originally came out. And I think the first adaptation was done in 1982 by Hong Kong's TVB. And that was the original one. And I saw that one as well a long time ago and really loved it. So I know that several versions have come out from China the last few years. Um, but I've watched a few episodes of those and I never got, I mean, to me, they weren't very good. Um, So I watched maybe one or two episodes and I stopped. But this one I actually watched all the way through. Um, and I felt this one was actually really, really good. This is just came out in 2021 and it's in Mandarin and from China again. The characters and the casting, I feel like it's very similar to the version from 1982 in terms of how the characters look. This is the main character, this is Qiu Fang. Um, and he's sort of like the head of the sect and has incredible kung fu skills. I'm not gonna talk through each character. Actually, this guy's actually a very famous Hong Kong actor. He did a lot of famous TV shows back in the 80s, um, playing gambling and gangster type characters. So I was kind of surprised to see him here. This is the Prince of Duan, and he's another one of the main characters. The in terms of the production and the cinematography, I would say is probably one of the best ones. If I was to give this a rating, I would give it 8.5 out of 10. That's how good I think it is. In fact, I think it's actually better than the original 1982 Hong Kong TVB version. I love the 1982 TVB version, and the casting on in that is really good. I mean, the casting is perfect in terms of how I envision the characters and the looks and everything. But this version, I feel like they got inspired by that casting, and I feel like a lot of the characters are very similar. This is the sort of like the main protagonist. He's uh he's one of the he's basically trying to retake his kingdom. I guess his family lost. What used to I guess have a kingdom and then lost it, and so his whole purpose now is try to regain it. And he starts off with as someone who has a lot of good characters traits, but then reveals himself to be capable of doing anything, no matter how evil, in order to reach his goals. And this is one of the many girls that. Anyways, this review is gonna have spoilers, so just to warn you. Um, this is one of the other characters that the prince meets along the way, which he later finds out is his sister. And she's supposed to be very beautiful. And the first guy, basically, that sees her without her veil, she would either marry or kill, depending on whether he loves her back or not. I think one thing I like about this adaptation is that there's not too many fillers in terms of the scenes or the dialogue. And I mean, it's 50 episodes. I think the original TVB 1982 version was more than 50. It's probably like 60 or 70. But this one's 50. And sorry, I didn't feel like I fast forwarded too often for the most part. I felt like a lot of the scenes and dialogues moved along pretty well for these series. And I mean, compared to a lot of the other series that I've seen from China, this one was actually pretty good. Didn't have too many silly stuff. I mean, you have some silly bad guys, but even then, it wasn't as stupid or silly as some of the other TV series that I've seen. This is the other main character, the monk. He starts off very weak and then becomes stronger, and that's something that you're gonna see a lot in this series. That people, characters, are leveling up as they learn new techniques or skills from these old kung fu manuals, secret manuals. And that's something I really love to see, rather than these stories of gods and goddesses and fairies that somehow get all their powers right away, and it's all about love and intrigue and misunderstanding and birth and rebirth and those type of shows I am not crazy about, except for a few. I mean, I really love 10,000 Miles of Peach Blossoms and a few others, but other than a few, I would say I get really tired of that genre from China. And this this type of series, I think it's more enjoyable for me at least, where they might not have all the skills in the beginning, but they learn and their characters develop rather than, you have a fairy or a god who's just bored and comes to the human kingdom and have all their skills already, and somehow they find someone they love and they lose them and then find them again. I mean, oh God, I'm so sick of those. Uh, Here's the prince again. Like I said, the cinematography in this series is so much better than the previous versions from China. I just feel like this is, and the characters and the music is so much better. I know that in the reviews, some people have said they like the other versions better from China, but to me, I mean, I watched some of those again before this review just to be sure, and they are really really bad in terms of the pacing and the cinematography. At least to me, at least. I mean, and the CGI effects. This one is really good, and that you really fall for the characters and their lives, and it's in the end, it's kind of a tragic story because quite a lot of people die. I wouldn't rate it as a happy ending at all. And this is one. That's another thing actually. Like this female here on the right, she's supposed to be his mom. But all the women are very young. I don't think I saw any old woman in any of the characters. Even if they're supposed to be 90 years old, they're really young and beautiful. Uh, oh yeah, I really like her. She's one of the wives of the king, of the prince's dad. She's one of the, I think, how many were there? One, two, three, four. I think there were five or six women in total who really fell in love with this prince's dad, who is a king. No, he's not a king. He's a king in waiting, I guess. A brother to the king. So, anyways, they all fall in love with him and had kids by him throughout the kingdom. And his this prince goes around meeting all these women and falls in love with them, and then finds out that they're his sister. Anyways, this mom, I mean, look at her. She is so beautiful, but there's no way, right, that she's supposed to be 50 or 60 years old. But anyways, I think for me, her character was kind of tragic because she raised a daughter who was this one to hate men, and she gets killed in the end too, which is really sad. Uh, as you can see, I sort of like her. That's why I have some more photos of her. Just love her nose and her lips. Just very beautiful, strong face. The ending is it's not based off the latest revision of the books. So in the books, I believe the ending has the prince um has the prince going getting married or getting together with this girl and another girl that he falls in love with in the beginning. I think her name was Zhong Li. But the original ending by the author, it was kind of interesting. The original ending, he went with Miss Wang, which is another girl who is even more beautiful, I guess, in the book, but who loves the bad guy. he ends up with her, that Miss Wang. But the author later on revised the ending in another version of the book where he ends up with these two other girls instead. And I think that is actually a better ending. Um, in this adaptation though, he does end up with Miss Wang in the end. And to me, I feel conflicted because I like the character, but I just feel like these two other girls saved his life more often, and they love him more, and they sacrifice a lot for him. And I think he would be more happy with them rather than this dream of this other girl that, is a fantasy. He loves her, but she doesn't love him in the beginning, and she loves her cousin instead, which is the bad guy. No matter what he does, how much he sacrifices, she sticks to the other guy until the end. Then she realizes he is important to her. But even then, in the end, she was trying to become a priestess or a monk or a nun, I guess, the nun, instead of uh, um, instead of trying to marry him. But he was able to talk her out of it, I guess. But still, I mean, I just feel like these other two girls sacrificed and saved him a lot more, and it would have been better, I feel, if he went with them. So, anyways, he then in this adaptation he went with this other girl, Miss Wang, and I don't know what happened to his other two sisters, these two girls that love him so much. I mean, it must be tragic. They probably end up being alone, like the wives of, like those other lovers of his dad. I mean, I just feel sad if that's the case. And then for the monk, was there a monk? Yeah, the monk. The ending. I don't know what is going on, but you see him basically collecting his stuff, leaving his role as the leader of the sect that he promised his masters that he would look out after, the ones that transferred their power to him. He basically left that sect, and I don't know what happens to it, without a leader or anyone to take care of him. And he just travels, I guess. Even though in the book he's supposed to end up with that princess of Xia, I guess, of that kingdom that he meets in the dream chamber. So if he just left her and wandered the world as a monk, I would be kind of pissed off if that was the case. In the book, the ending is he's supposed to be a prince consort to that princess, but in this TV series, you see him gathering his stuff and shows him kind of like wandering around the world to basically live his life, I guess, and experience everything. So I mean, it doesn't say that he leaves her, but you get the feeling that he's just gonna travel for a while and not go to her right away. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's kind of stupid. And the other guy, the the this guy, he dies at the end, like all the other versions. His sacrifice basically prevents war between the kingdoms, and he gives them peace. This guy's sort of a blockhead, the way he acts. Kind of stupid in terms of romance. Just does one dumb thing after another because he's so, I guess he's so, what do you call that? Chivalrous, you know? Live by his honor. He's too honorable in many ways. So anyways, I overall love the series. I would recommend it. Definitely watch it. Anyways, hope you like it. Then please subscribe. Thanks.